And we're back. I, of course, am your host, Jen Estroff, and this is the 2016 Primary Washington State Video Voters Guide. We're going to move right into statewide elections. There's a lot of statewide elections. We're going to go quick like little buddies, and the vast majority of the time, I did not cop out. You have one choice from me, the person I think is the best, and it's going to be fabulous. Let's get started. Statewide. For governor, Jay Inslee. He and his spouse, Trudy, are an unstoppable team. They share my values. They work really hard. They've grown up and lived on both sides of the state, and they understand how the state works together best as one state. They're fighting hard for education, for health care, for choice, for the ability for women to make equal pay. For all of my male friends who are getting really panicked, if you didn't know that those were my views already, we really haven't talked a lot. Anyway, Jay Inslee, he's been doing a great job. He's working his tail off. Send him back. Moving on. Lieutenant Governor Cyrus Habib. His personal narrative is amazing. He's a really hard worker. He's a little sassy, but he's whip smart. Took himself from losing his eyesight to cancer as a child all the way up through law school, running for the U.S. Or the Washington State House and then Washington State Senate. He's a really incredible guy. He's a friend, and I know he's going to work very hard for the state. So Cyrus Habib, absolutely, absolutely the way to go. Moving on, Secretary of State, Tina Podkulski. Now, I really do like and admire a lot of things Kim Wyman does. She's really a dedicated and incredible public servant. But I'm going with Tina because there are some specific things about expanding voter access, making it easier to vote, making it easier for young people to get registered to vote, things like Motor Voter, where you register to vote when you go and get a driver's license, which is just a good thing to do. Like, why? Who really wants to go back and do more paperwork when you could just have it done at the same time? Washington State Voting Rights Act, all these things Tina really supports and is pushed for. So Tina Podkulski, Secretary of State. All right, next up, State Treasurer, John Paul Comerford. Everything this guy does, you can check out the voter's guide. Everything this guy does has been about fiscal responsibility and keeping the budget balanced. And remember, Washington State's budget is balanced. Every year, there's no running up a debt. It's not the federal government. So who better to help us do that and make sure we're doing it right than someone who his entire resume is basically making sure that every organization he's been with is fiscally in check. Next up, State Auditor, Pat Patrice McCarthy. Many people I know, and a lot of the Democratic districts over here are going for Jeff Sprung. I don't have anything personally against him. I just, having grown up and doing all my first voting in Pierce County, Pat McCarthy was our county auditor there, the county executive. She's been amazing. She's done really innovative things to make sure that the government for the county served the people of Pierce County well. And I think she really has the ability to expand that to make sure that we're auditing and being really smart with the way we use our money. And I think she's going to be a great choice for state auditor. Attorney General Bob Ferguson. He does a great job. He makes sure consumers are protected, and he makes sure all of his staff work really hard to serve the state of Washington. Next up, Commissioner of Public Lands. Okay, I totally copped out. It was really hard for me to choose. So if you vote for Hillary Franz or Dave Up the Grove, you will not be sorry. You will be supporting really great candidates. So yes, I know I didn't pick a final one. If you really want to put me over the fire, shoot me a comment. We'll talk about it. But those are my people. Next up, I'm so excited about those. Superintendent of Public Instruction, Erin Jones. There's no one else in the race who has her experience, her dedication, her knowledge, her ability, her tenacity. She is an incredible candidate. She's an incredible human being. She's an incredible woman, mother, and educator. And I cannot wait to see the changes she can make to actually close the opportunity gap. Erin Jones is 100% the person that I'm supporting. I think you should send her money. I think you should volunteer for her. I think we need Erin Jones as our Superintendent of Public Instruction, in case that was confusing. And last but not least, for statewide, you've held it there so well. Insurance Commissioner Mike Radler. Not only does he occasionally irritate some of our for-profit insurance companies by making them show their own profits if they want to raise the rates for their customers, their members. He's a really good guy. He's an actual doctor, and he served in the same Army Reserve unit as my dad, and is just a really stand-up guy. All right. So we've now completed, if you watched it, there's an intro video, there's a federal video, and we've done the statewide video. Next up, we're going to get into some of the judicial races. Stay tuned, and thank you for voting.
Say yeah.